guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today in the Ask SSM video series, got email from a subscriber. This is a father and grandfather who's writing in about his son. He's very worried about his son's wife, who for the last decade, up until 1 year ago, has proven to be a very loving, loyal, supportive wife to his son, as well as stepmother to his grandchildren. However, in the last year, she's had a major change in her attitude, personality, and all that. This guy's daughter-in-law, best way to describe her, is a nurse, and head nurse, and recently has gotten to more positions of authority and doing well for herself. And because of that, there's been a whole lot of change in behavior. All of a sudden, girls' nights, suddenly dressing much differently. And when I mean differently, probably revealing clothes, change in attitude towards her husband, the grandkids, all that. She's also a traveling nurse. She's been making a lot of changes to her body, like cosmetic surgery and Botox, stuff like that. And this guy's writing and looking for advice based on the story he's going to share, how best to proceed with his son. You know, is there something going on behind the scenes? How should his son handle her? That type of thing. So that'd be a very good one to go over here. And to show you guys, you can have someone that you're with for a long time period, and all of a sudden, there's a drastic change. And usually when there's drastic change like that, something's going on behind the scenes, you know, or that person wasn't so great all along. Who knows? But we will then decide at the end of the story here, and you guys can also share in, because we're going to need some audience participation, especially today, to help this grandfather and father out in the situation. So at the end of the story, you guys will be able to determine or figure what's going on, and you can hopefully help this guy out. He says, hey gang, a decade ago, my son found his perfect partner in Diane. Okay, obviously these are code names here, Jack and Diane. While her physical appearance may not have aligned with conventional beauty standards at the time, her vibrant personality and unwavering strength of character more than made up for it. Diane was a force to be reckoned with, a confident, take-no-nonsense woman who brought the best to my son. So I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt here and say she is and was not a ball-busting feminist, because what you describe here, some of us would be picturing that, but simply a woman that respected herself, had a high self-esteem, and just simply didn't take any crap from anybody, you know? Fair enough. Jack was sharing visitation of 2 young kids with his ex. Diane, a compassionate nurse, seemingly stepped into the role of a loving mother figure, providing the firm yet nurturing guidance the kids needed. Her inability to have biological children did not diminish her maternal instincts. Instead, she embraced the children wholeheartedly, showering them with affection and setting boundaries that fostered their growth. This guy obviously is a good writer here. Well, that sounds great. You know, she took them on as her own, treated them great, high affection. Okay, that sounds really good. Over the past decade, Jack and Diane's lives have been a remarkable journey of growth and accomplishment. Their unwavering support for each other fueled their professional aspirations, allowing them to soar to new heights in their respective careers. My grandson went into the Air Force taking up cybersecurity, and my granddaughter will graduate high school in 2 years, and when she does, she'll have an associate's degree. I never knew such a thing as this. Wow, that's awesome. She's obviously a very smart girl and a very, going for it. That's awesome. Jack's diligence and dedication paved the way for his transition from a humble janitor to a respected member of the hospital's engineering department. His hard work and commitment did not go unnoticed, ultimately leading to his well-deserved promotion as a safety coordinator, a role that leveraged his expertise and ensured the well-being of countless individuals along with a hefty raise. Good for him. Everybody's got to start off at the bottom, guys. A lot of people don't want to be janitors or do jobs along those lines, but sometimes if that's what you got to do, it's what you got to do, and you keep pushing to move up in the world. Never look down at people, guys, for what they do for a living, really, because you don't know their story, and a lot of people, you don't know their story, and you may end eating your words one day. And some people go around with a big ego because they make a lot of money or have some high-powered job and stuff like that, Diane, with her compassionate nature and exceptional nursing skills, ascended the ranks within the healthcare system. Her tireless efforts and unwavering dedication to patient care propelled her to the position of head nurse of the emergency department. Thriving under pressure, she became a beacon of hope and a source of comfort for those during their most vulnerable moments. No content to the rest of her laurels. Her passion for nurturing the next generation of healthcare professionals led her to embark on a new adventure as a traveling nurse instructor. Okay, well, we all know the stereotypes about the nurses. And now she's head nurse, ha ha ha, head, and she's in charge, and now she's traveling about, and I'm sure the guy, the grandfather writing in from my channel is aware of the stereotype of nurses, but so far, her actions on the outside seem like she's been a great gal, great wife, all that, to his grandkids, to his son, all that, but sadly, you just never know what's going on behind the scenes. Their journey seemed to be an idyllic one, with their careers soaring and their bond growing stronger with each passing year. However, as often the case, even the most solid relationships can be tested by unexpected temptations. Yep. Approximately a year ago, a woman's improvement business emerged, offering a range of cosmetic procedures such as Botox, breast augmentations, rhinoplasty, and liposuction, along with other cosmetic services. Regulations stated the need for a medical professional on site. The company approached Diane with an offer that proved too lucrative to refuse. Initially, her involvement was purely professional, her expertise ensuring the safety and well-being of the clients. However, as time passed, the allure of the services offered by the business began to seep into her psyche. Uh-oh. Before long, she found herself succumbing to the temptation of Botox treatments, rationalizing it as a harmless indulgence. Yet, as often is the case with such matters, this initial foray into cosmetic enhancements opened a Pandora's box that could not be easily closed. Why the hell is she doing Botox? I knew someone that did that, and that made that, I'm trying to be as vague as possible for obvious reasons, and that person, it worked well, making that individual look much younger, and I couldn't believe it. But still, there are serious risks to taking that crap, or any type of things like that. So in other words, it sounds like this guy, the grandfather who's telling the story, his daughter-in-law started getting addicted to these things. At first, the changes were subtle, a touch of Botox here, a minor nip and tuck there. Nip and tuck, okay, now we're going from Botox to actually plastic surgery. But as time passed, her obsession with attaining an idealized version of herself grew more intense. As her outward appearance became more conventionally attractive, she garnered attention from others. Attention that she seemed to crave, perhaps a validation for her efforts. This newfound admiration, however, came at a cost, as it threatened to drive a wedge between her and Jack, the man who had loved her unconditionally from the very beginning. Here we go. So she starts in with notice that these changes that she has weren't from her embarking on a weight loss journey if she was overweight, or hitting the gym, or all these other things. This involves plastic surgery and Botox and other crap like that. And she's getting a big ego, and now because I guess she didn't get the attention before, now she's starting to get attention from guys, and it's going to the head, the attention validation. And watch how her behavior is going to change. The girls' nights that had once been innocent occasions for Diane to unwind and bond with her friends took on a new dimension. Imagine that. Girls gone were the refined, modest outfits of the past, replaced by revealing attire that seemed to cater to a newfound design for attention and validation. In other words, she's wearing probably dresses and skirts that were practically her asshole's hanging out or something like that, or her boobs are popping out practically. This is where your son should be laying down the law with her, that this isn't going to fly. This is not what I married, or you didn't say they're married. Either married, you didn't mention it, or they're just, together. But this is where your son needs to be laying down the law. No. My girlfriend or my wife is not going to be out dressing like that or doing these girls' nights to the clubs and bars. Not happening. That's not what I signed up for. You want to do that? Okay, but you and I are going to part ways. It was as if she was seeking affirmation from external sources, no longer content with the unconditional love and acceptance that my son had always provided. Right? Because now she's gotten a big head, and now she's trying to get big head in her mouth. She is trying to get all this. She's all those days she didn't get it because this guy wrote in the description "ugly duckling" in the title to his story to me. And now she's making up for lost time. And also because she does very well for herself. And he said that she's always been very confident in who she is. Well, there you go. The conversations that once flowed freely between the couple, filled with shared experience with mutual support, became increasingly one-sided. Diane's newfound obsession with her work at the women's improvement business dominated their discussions, leaving little room for Jack to share his own accomplishments or concerns. In other words, their relationship all became about her. She had always been the one to handle the household finances, Uh-oh, that's a terrible idea. Unless your son is terrible with money and has spending problems and things like that. No. You have one account that his money goes in, one account that her money goes into, and you can have a joint account for the shared living expenses. That's it. A responsibility she had taken on with some diligence and care that she applied to every aspect of her lives. Jack, for his part, had been content to set aside a modest sum for discretionary spending, trusting in her financial acumen to manage the rest. However, her expenditures on clothing, jewelry, and cosmetics increased. That doesn't sound like very practical handling of household finances. It was a pattern that could not go unnoticed forever. And Jack, ever the pragmatic one, broached the subject with a gentle concern. A concern born no judgment, but of a desire to understand and support his partner. Smack! He's being too nice here. No, you're not going to be spending all our fucking money on all this jewelry and cosmetics and everything so you can go out with your friends wearing skirts and dresses with your buttholes hanging out. No, Jack's being too nice. Yet the response he received was one he never could have anticipated. What could this be? Could it be bitchiness? Instead of the open and honest communication that had once been the hallmark of the relationship, she lashed out defensively, dismissing his inquiry with a curt rebuke and a reminder that she had never questioned his own spending habits. So she's now twisting it around and making him being the bad guy here. No. And by the way, as you are getting... If this guy has a son who is getting out of the military, he's no doubt in his 20s, I'm guessing Jack and Diane are probably at least late 40s, if not 50s. This is when retirement is in the horizon down the road, hopeful retirement. And so you need to be smarter with your money and not piss away on bullshit so you can put it away, investing in areas that you feel comfortable with so you can hopefully one day, some people that can actually retire at a reasonable age before they die. But she's pissing away on bullshit and he brings it up with a good, and he's being nice about it, too nice, and she's twisting it around. Imagine that. You cannot have two people together in a relationship if they don't see eye to eye money-wise. Of course, there's always going to be someone who's going to be more inclined to spend a little bit more, and someone wants to save a little more, but you got to be close. Their once unbreakable bond has been strained to its limits, but what transpired next was a blow that struck at the very core of the family values and the unconditional love that had once been their guiding light. My grandson, a young man who had bravely served his country in the Air Force, was set to be discharged in 6 months' time. While his military service is coming to an end, he had hoped to return home, seeking the support of his family as that navigated the transition to civilian life and embarked on his next chapter. Man, I think this guy, the grandfather writing in here did some writing, or was an English major or something, because this guy writes really well. When Jack approached the subject of his son's impending return, no was her answer. What do you mean, no? You're gone all the time anyway, going to your girls' nights in the clubs and the bars with your short skirts with your butt hanging out. This is something she never would have said prior to last year. She would welcome him home with open arms. I told Jack that a good kid should always be welcome home, and if she can't see that, then she's not the mother or wife she once was. Okay, they are married. And I suggested he give her a choice. Change your ways, or they go their separate ways. He's currently weighing his options. So this guy obviously is writing and looking for my advice, as well as you guys' advice in the situation. And what I think Jack needs to do about Diane, I can't keep a straight facing Jack and Diane here. The song, you guys know the song. Anyway, your son needs to, he should have been laying down, I know that her behavior is a 180 to what she's been all this time, at least to what he's thought. For all you know, she hasn't been that wonderful behind the scenes. You have to think that could be a possibility. And the stereotype of being a nurse, that does not mean every nurse is going to behave like the nurses in some of these stories that come in, but still, you have to be careful. He obviously has been too nice with her, even though it's been a shock with her behavior, and start laying down the law. He should have been way laying down the law about her behavior with her going out suddenly all the time, the changes to her appearance and stuff like that. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I'm sure when people, I believe, I saw the show Nip Tuck 20-some years ago. Y'all remember that show on FX, Nip Tuck, the plastic surgery show? And whenever a client would have any work done, they would have a shrink there to evaluate them to make sure, there weren't screws loose or anything. I have to wonder if she's had anybody evaluate her or anything like that for these changes she's doing to her body and see if something's going on. Or just simply, the narcissist is born. You know, she does a little thing, it becomes addictive, because you've seen these people that get plastic surgery and eventually look like fucking Frankenstein. You know, I'm sure you can think of some celebrities out there that just keep doing it and they look terrible, you know, and it's like, oh my God, you know, they look like a fucking Picasso with shit everywhere. I'm not making, you get the point. And she's become addicted to this, and she's become a total narcissist for attention and validation, blah, blah, blah. This is not who he married. And if she's treating him like crap, and now this final straw with the son, he's not coming back home. She's changed. It's gone to her head, and she's gone mental. And he, you know, at the very least, he should be laying down the law with her and also doing some serious digging, some investigating. If not himself, hire a PI, because something's going on here beyond just simply her changing her appearance and her behavior. There could be, because she obviously is getting more attention from guys, she's probably feeling more confident that she can behave and act in any way she wants, because like, hey, I'm so great, I got options. Even though, guess what, she's probably in her 40s, newsflash, 40s. Not 20s, 40s. Maybe there'll be guys that want to hook up with her, but they sure as hell aren't going to want to actually have anything serious beyond that. And she's kidding herself otherwise, unless the guys are like decades older, and to them she's a prize. No. Something's going on here, and if she doesn't have something going on behind the scenes with someone yet, she thinks she does. And if I was the son, I'd be doing some serious digging at what is going on with her behind the scenes and finding out. And if this is who she is now, she's not the person he married. He has no reason to stay with her anymore, and I would talk to a lawyer and find out his options. Now, of course, you know, everybody wants to say try not, divorce should be the last option, but when you live long enough, guys like me, and you see enough people in your life go through divorces and breakups and hear stories like the one sent into me happen in real time, not to mention the probably close to 3,000 videos I've covered through all 3 channels of stories in varying degrees like this, you see patterns. And when things have gone so far so bad, which I'm seeing here in the story, the likelihood ain't going to end well. So, but your son has to do what's best for your son. I mean, your grandkids, his kids, one's obviously in his 20s, the daughter's about to graduate high school, so she's probably about 16, 17 now. They're going to be okay. But you can't have this. He can't be married to that. She's not the one he married. So that's what I think. Do some serious digging, do some serious laying down the law, and I would find out his options. But things can't continue to go on this path. And when she's been having this radical change in her behavior, something's going on. That's what I thought. That's been my experience in living 46 years, and also from the countless stories I've covered. That's what I think. So I relay that to your son. I'm sorry it's happening. Really, I am, because obviously she was a daughter to you. But I just don't see anything good coming from this situation. So talk to your son. Show him this video. I wish for the best, but he's got to be prepared to make some tough decisions. And let me know how it goes down the road. But you're a good dad looking out for your son and all that. And if what's going on is what I think is going on, he's going to need you more than ever. So be prepared for that. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Let this guy know in the comments section what you think based on, what's going on in this story. Give him an answer, and hopefully we can help this guy out. And be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.